Ayan. Kasi magpapalit kami ng computer. Ayan po yung kanyang unit. O, di ba? Siningat ko, Jeanette. Okay lang? Ayan. And of course, ito na. Ito na.
Takot ko lang sa kanila kasi. Anyway, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
I think majority of you knows me already, and some I see, I've been talking to some of the branches and I see people who are so familiar, no?
Sabi ko na po.
No, si Ma'am Mary, sabi hindi ko rin alam yun. It's a sign that you're old in Sun Life. But nobody gets old in Sun Life. Sun Life always makes you smile, actually. If you see the people who are here for the longest time, remember B and Nancy who talked, last Thursday? She's been with Sun Life for the longest time, right? But does she look old? Di ba? Hindi. Siyempre, love ko yan. BN ko yan. But look at Miss Mary. She doesn't look old. When I started 18 years ago, she still looks the same. So, Sun Life is really true to its word na it's a brighter life. Di ba? So, I was assigned to talk about consistency is the key. But as it goes, it merges with it, it's still the planning. Planning is always the key to what we always do every day, right? Okay. We have the commitment. Are you guys really into this career full-heartedly? Are you committed to this career? Kasi alam nyo, even if we are tenured advisors, some tenured advisors are still having second thoughts of being in this business. Sometimes they have a lag. Sometimes, they produce now, later on, they lag. And as you can see, what Bong had previously showed you, there was a time that I wasn't producing. I will give you a little story during the time that I was here in Sun Life. I don't know if you would say that it was a walk-in, because I was kind of recruited by my best friend who used to be the corporate secretary of Sun Life. She is a childhood friend, so we grew up together. And then she just keeps on asking my husband and said, why don't you, let Jeanette work? Because I was a full-time housewife. Although I have little businesses that I do on the side. So, and my husband would say, no, insurance is always a scam. It's something that's not, it's not something that the Philippines is into it. And mind you, my husband is a lawyer. So, there is the doubt, of the insurance industry. It's not like in the States or other different countries that insurance is really a necessity for them. Okay? So, finally, lo and behold, he said, after a year, he said, okay, sabi niya, pwede na siya. So, I walked into the head office. It was still Grace Olores. Who knows Grace Olores? She used to be our, training. Ang lead pa ng salary on. That's why training and marketing department was Grace. Ang lead pa. So anyway, I walk in there with my friend, and then Grace was there and said, oh, sino to? Anong gagawin natin sa kanya? And you know naman Grace, the way she talks, no? She can be intimidating. But sabi ng friend ko, oh, I have an agent. Sabi niya, she can be very good. Sabi ko, how can you say that I'm very good? Diba? You haven't seen me. I haven't been in sales anyway. So, finally, deeper pa noon, there were my unit manager, Ann Chua, was also starting her team. She was on the early part of her team. I think she was building it for the past two years. So, Ann was there in the head office in Enterprise. So, sabi niya sa secretary niya, which was Dorothy, who is now in the head office, na siya. Yeah. So, sabi niya, Dorothy, i-beeper mo si Anchua. Beeper pa po nun. Ganun na kami katanda sa Sun Life. So, sabi niya, biniper nga niya. Nandiyan na si Anchua. Kasi, first of all, why did she ask Anchua? Kasi ang sabi ko, for me to address all my priorities, because remember, for me to be committed to what I do, my first priority will still be my family. So, ang ginawa niya, okay, so which BM would you like to go to? Sabi ko, I don't even have any idea who BMs are in Sun Life. So she took up her list, gave all the names of the BM, at eto pa, sabi niya, o ano pang other priorities mo? And sabi ko, if you wanted to be committed, you have to profile me with this lineup that I want. So sabi niya, o sige, so ano pang gusto mo? BM who is in San Juan area. Because I live in San Juan. Sabi niya, okay. So nagbasa na siya. Andyan si Ma'am Mary, andyan si na... Basta, ang dami nilang BM. Yeah, Alice O was UM. So sabi niya, Nancy Baluyot. Sabi ko, hang on a second. Sabi ko, is that ND Baluyot? Sabi niya, yeah. Do you know her? Sabi ko, she's a customer of mine in Fabricare. Sabi ko, okay, I'll go to her. Kasi, I know Mang Fred, the driver who brings a dry clean. I have a Fabricare laundry shop eh. So sabi ko, I think I'll be okay. Tapos sabi niya, okay, then you go. So, i-beeper si Anchua. So that was the time na, kasi sabi ko, if I want to be, and I am a person who never quits. I never quit. I always go through the edge. I started our family so young that it just, we just have to work hard and hard and hard and harder and harder. If you see me like this is not the way I look, 37 years ago. I've been married for 37 years. I think most of you knows that. I have a 37-year-old daughter. We got married when we were 19. Okay, so that's why I'm telling that the commitment is there. Another story that I can share is when we got married with my husband, we were 19. And our reception was the same place where my debut was. Because auntie ko yung FMB manager para may discount, no? So anyway, yung early years of that, my husband decided to go and study law in the States with the help of my sister-in-law who was also starting her residency. Why did he decide to do that? There's nothing in the Philippines before. It was, I'm not saying that the Marcos time was like bad. It was, but the economy wasn't really good. It wasn't really a nice place for kids to grow. There wasn't any future to see. Okay, so he just decided to do that. After 10 months, when he left, I followed. But my dad, kasi ako yung eldest, my sister is here, she's one of my advisors. My dad used to be, parang ako yung, niya, one of the favorites, which my sisters would be so jealous about it. Everything would just be, si kay Jeanette, kay ganyan. So, I started, so early, learning life so early, So when my sister-in-law called my father-in-law and said, you know what, if you want the husband to finish law school here, you have to let him follow. You have to let her follow, or else he will not finish his law school. I have 2 kids then. I have a barely 2 and 3-year-old daughters. So it was a kind of hard decision for me, to get into that. But my father-in-law said, Jeanette, you might want to reconsider. This is already your future, ganyan. Sabi ko, okay. Without any doubt, I said, okay. Leaving my kids in Manila. Flew to the States. 2, 3 years old. Every single day, it's gonna be a hard day. You will be crying. Aside from that, missing your kids, my dad would be saying, kailan mo kukunin sila? That the constant nagging of asking from my dad na kailan mo sila kukunin, ganyan, lagi sila umiiyak, they keep on asking for you. But as a very young wife, a young mother, it's in my mind playing, and it's a kind of hard decision talaga. Sabi ko, okay, I'm gonna do this. But I have my dad who's nagging me. I have a husband on the other side, whom I have committed during marriage. What he's doing right now is something for our family's future. My dad will not be there to catch us if in case, diba, we don't, finish or do this right now. So, I decided, I said, when I did my marriage vows, I pledged that till death do us part, it is us. Whether through thick and thin, kami yun. So, that is where the commitment was. So, ever since that time, that word commitment really made a very big impact on our life. Again, going back here, commitment. If you are very well committed to what you do, you really excel. Kahit paanong sabihin mo, if you put your heart into it, everything will just follow. Second is the intelligent planning. That is always what I also teach my team. We start our planning, for example, Q1, we started on December, on the last quarter of the previous year. So, our December's planning will be for Q1. Our Q2 planning will be March. So, it follows. It's on and on and on. Okay? Plus, the second one would be the focus, the effort. Which would translate to productivity. Diba? So, going back to that story where my full commitment to my husband is and to my family, we are so blessed. We are where we are right now. It's not that I'm saying that we are super yaman, but at least we have a very comfortable life. Okay? Because of hard work. Because of the things that we have to focus in. Talagang kami kasi, both of us, we have agreed, in spite of that, it wasn't a smooth ride. There's a lot of criticism, saan babata nila, wala silang mapupuntahan. If different people yan, and iba yung focus mo, iba the way, the life perspective that you will have in spite of that, maybe I will not be here standing in front of you. Right? So, yan, parang, sige, pasok lang dito, labas dito. It's not because of you guys. We're not building this life because of you. We're building this life because of our family. Okay? So, yan. So, it translates, our commitment always translates to productivity. Productivity is never an accident. It is always a result of commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort, as Paul Mayer is, because he is also considered as a very successful planner. Okay? Focus. This is always parang bugbog na word to my team. I always tell them, guys, we focus. Dapat para tayong kabayo na we only have one direction. Para at least we have this, we are talking on the same page. It's kind of hard if, for example, na sasabihin ko to, pala iba yung page nila, iba yung gusto nila. Diba? So, in the first, as going back to my topic na planning is the key, we always plan together. Even the mission and the vision in my team, that mission and vision was created during my lead program that I attended. It was an assignment. I didn't do my mission and vision alone. I had to gather my team to do my vision and vision. Why did I have to do that? Because if I will just do my vision and mission by myself, it's just for me. I'm not including my team. Diba? Then, sasabihin nila, sa'yo yan eh. Hindi naman amin yan eh. So, will there be a teamwork there? Nothing. Diba? Kahit ano pang sabihin mo sa kanila, they'll not follow. And what does the focus means? Okay. Follow one course until successful. Diba? That's the reason why that mission and vision was created as a teamwork. We have to have one mission and vision together for us to be able to do what we want to do and be more productive. Okay? How did we do how do we do focusing? We do strategies. We have different kinds of strategies in my team. I will show you the other strategies that we do. We have different activities. Hindi lang po kami nag-unit meeting, gagawin namin to, o eto yan, bugbugan, I'll just show them all the figures. No, we don't do that. We actually, sometimes the branch says, sina Jeanette yung team nila, they are silent partners on the team. Hindi daw kami masyadong vocal on what we do. I said, we don't brag actually. We show na lang what are our outcomes, our results. We just have to, focus on what we are good at. Okay. So we have this strategic planning cycle. We have, when we do strategic planning, we have to set our goals. What's our target? For example, our planning last December, well, ngayon na-late kami. We did it on the first week of January kasi it was so hectic ng December, no? So, we did our planning last January, first week. Sabi ko, okay, we don't have the official number yet, but let's base it on our manual count. Para at least they would already know going forward for the rest of 2018. Diba? So that is our goal. Aside from the goal in Sun Life, what else do you have as an individual? Because as part of our planning, I also give them individual goals. Not only for Sun Life. What do you want for your family? What do you want to achieve this year? Ano ba talaga ang focus mo? Diba? So where do you want to go? And then we have the desired outcomes. So this is now where you get very specific na sasabihin ng advisor mo, ay gusto ko ng bahay. Gusto ko padala yung anak ko somewhere to go for college or, things like that. It has to be very specific. Why do we have to be specific? Kasi if it's gonna be like blurry, do you think you have the motivation to do it? Diba? No. So there. How do we get there? That is where the strategies would go through. It's either we do financial planning, I encourage them to attend different trainings because it's not only through me as their UM that they can learn, but they can also learn somewhere else. Diba? Especially right now, we have so many competitors. The banks, we have other insurance companies who are our competitors. Diba? We have international competitors. Sometimes, have you encountered clients saying, ay, mas maganda yung offer ng Hong Kong. Ay, mas maganda yung offer ng Singapore. Have you encountered that? Diba? So we have to really also enhance ourselves, our knowledge, to compete with them. It's a never-ending study. We really have to uplift our knowledge already. Hindi na tayo pwedeng complacent. Dati nga, nung 18 years ago, pumasok lang ako. Alam mo, pasok ka lang ng application form, sige, collect ka lang ng premium. Without any, you don't have to enhance yourself about investment. You don't have to know about, what are the comparisons between, US and Philippine market. Yung mga ganyan, di ba? We just collect and collect. Wala lang, you visit. How's the policy? Yung ganon, are you happy? Ganun lang. That's how simple work was then. Now, how do we measure success? How do you measure your success? From the previous year, did you try to review whether the goal that you have set the previous year was achieved? Did you do that? Did you try to, for example, think na, ay, hindi ko nagawa to. Kulang ako. Last year was supposed to be a very good year for my team. It could have been our first AAA. Nagkulang lang po kami. Ang liit ng kulang namin. It's about 350,000 pesos. My PM offered and said, Jeanette, you could have told us. Sabi ko, no. You know my principle. My principle, which I've taught my advisors, was it should be a work coming from my team. I don't want anybody, helping us. I want na solid yan, na kami yan. I will not even borrow from a future production. I said, if we've earned that recognition, it should be solid. Diba? Talagang that's my ganyan ako ka-strict. Kahit pa 40,000 hindi ko yan uutangin. Parang ganon, for a future production, no. If it wasn't for us, it wasn't for us. We will work harder. That is my principle. Okay? Then, how do we do? So we get the results already. Are we satisfied with our results from last year? Do we have to do more? Do we work harder to achieve it? What are the other ways of doing it? What are the other ways of achieving what we want to have? Diba? So yan. So how can we improve? Kung let's say, this strategy is not working, then maybe we could explore something different. Maybe for example, the FP is not very successful to my team. Maybe we can, think of something else. Maybe an FP that is like a 500 audience is not worthwhile, then we reduce it. Just like January, I had a partner, we organized a parang estate planning. We've learned already that like 100 people, 100 attendees not worthwhile. We reduced it. We reduced the number to 40, 45. Ang mahal na ng fee ni Atty. Cabrera, but we shouldered it. Because remember, in Sun Life also, we're not just agents. We are not only advisors. If, again, going back to your commitment, if you came in here, you should consider Sun Life as a business. It should not be a part-time job. It should not be like something that would just give you a commission if you want one. But you have to treat this as your business. Because that is the way if that is the way you think, then everything will follow. Diba? So, ganun ang ginawa ko. We reduce it. Don't think of it like, ay, ang mahal ng venue, ang mahal ni attorney, ang mahal ng ganito. Don't. If you put up your own business, did you think of that? No. Diba? Remember, like, restaurants that just popping up every corner right now, diba? Capitalists just, put in the money without even thinking of. One good example, like the person who, I'm not sure, I don't know who, but I'm just using this as an example. The group of people who franchise PF Chang. Diba? PF Chang didn't even fly. But did they think of the risk? So let's treat Sun Life as that. Wala nga tayong puhunan, kokonti nga eh. It's more on the laway. Diba? But during that, the talkies and everything, we also have to build the trust between the client and us. Diba? Huwag yung isipin na, ay, ganitong commission ko. Guys, clients will always know. Clients will always feel. So treat Sun Life as a business and not any other like commission lang yan or I want this trip so I have to produce. No. Alam yan ng kliyente. So these are the different strategies that we do. These are the different activities that my team did. This sip and go na yan. This was a result of a productivity we did. We took the challenge from cluster head natin before, Pito Lawas. He gave us yung sino mag 100% na team, sabi niya, I will give you a prize, 5,000. Sabi ko, okay, fine. That was 2 days prior to the deadline of the fast track. I had 40 advisors that time. I text blasted them during our manager's meeting. Lo and behold, we did 100% fast track that time. And I think the only unit now ng cluster 1 who did the 100%. And then we did this. We have different. Okay. So we have different activities. So these are the different strategies that we do. Why did we do? Ayun. Okay. Ayun. So anyway, like for example, the Praxis. When Sun Life launched Praxis, for them to be able to share it to clients, I want them to polish themselves, mga advisors ko. Sabi ko, you have to do this. You have to know. Kasi kung halimbawa, mag-praxis tayo at mag-monitor kayo ng clients at may tanong sila, would you know what to answer? Di ba? No? So, it wasn't even once that we did the praxis in my team. I think we did it thrice or 4 times for them to get used to it. Okay? And the first time, we did it during one planning. So, it was a planning in my team. Yan. And then we sponsored different activities. Remember, Sun Life doesn't give you any sponsorship money, so it came out from our pockets. Again, going back, treat it as a business. Okay. 10 times yan, 100-fold. Babalik sa inyo yan. So, these are our different activities in my team. Ayan. So, this, we invite different speakers. Every time we have our planning, every quarter, we invite different facilitators like Mon, we have Bong, we have Nick Rodriguez, I don't know if you remember them, Herbert, even from other territories, I invite them. I just want different people para hindi naman mabore yung advisors ko. That is what I do. There was a time I invited even an external facilitator. So those, di ba, you just have to, if you treat it as a business, go for it. So, ito yung example of our bonding in my team. I'm so blessed talaga that my team is super bonded. We have vibrant groups in my team. Why do we achieve 100% participation all the time? Actually, when I asked Mon Cruz to facilitate my last planning, last January, sabi niya sa akin, Jeanette, I need to know the participation rate of your team. Sabi ko, 100%. What? Are you kidding me? Sabi ko, no, I'm not kidding you. It's for real. It's 100% participation. So, every time na ganyan, if somebody lags, wala yung pipiliin. Lahat ng advisors magpipitch in yan. Sasabihin, hey, ganito ka na lang, 2 pa. Gawin mo na, deadline na. That is what this